is Peter Bewley. I design and manufacture furniture. I'm really inspired by traditional craft, like how things are made, but then I'm also inspired by modernism, which is sort of a retaliation against traditional craft. So I like the simplicity of modern furniture, but I like the construction and the kind of the more engaged methodologies of making it of traditional craft. Sometimes I work a little backwards, like I'll start with a piece of wood or a found object and build a piece around it versus like coming up with a design and then sourcing a piece of wood or picking out a color palette. So yeah, I generally try to work from an object out, I guess, and design according to that individual piece or element. In Brooklyn, we have such a great confluence of creative people, fields, producers. You can find pretty much anything you want to be made, and you can collaborate with anyone you want to, which is pretty unique. And things are still made here, unlike many places in the country. A lot of people make things and make a living doing it, which is unique. I came across Brooklyn Designs in 2008. It kind of dawned upon me that this was a place that you could make furniture. You had a good market, you had a creative scene. Brooklyn was not New York City, so I could live in Brooklyn. It just seemed to be a confluence of things at the time that I was looking for and a good trajectory. Good design is simple, yet has a little bit of depth. It's nuanced, you can explore it, you can find out more about it as you look at it, but that initial impulse of you liking it, I think, makes good design. So it's subjective, unique to everyone, but the main premise is just like that instant, I like this.
My name is Adam Frank, and I make new things with light. I'm inspired by a lot of things. I have a lifelong study of human visual perception that is actually very relevant to my own work using light. Also, I study devices that manipulate light, from ancient ones all the way up to modern ones. Really what inspires the true work is natural light phenomena of all different sorts. And in my work, what I do is I develop new ways of bringing natural light phenomena into the modern built environment. And that's what the products and the art installations do. I think it's really the diversity in Brooklyn that really inspires me and keeps me in Brooklyn. Also, the diversity of creative talent here. I mean, we really have creative people of all different sorts. They're not just creative people, but they're people that are really going after something. And they're really inspiring personally to me. And it keeps me going in my own business sort of emotionally to be around a kind of a community that I know all these other people are trying to do the kind of the similar thing. So it's really the inspiration of all the people in Brooklyn that keeps me here. I'm a somewhat unusual designer because really I do 3 different things at once. I'm a designer, I'm a product inventor, and an artist. And I do all those 3 things at once, and I try and do them all 3 at once in each project that I do. I was developing a few new product lines, and it just so happened that Brooklyn Designs came up and my manager thought it would be a great thing to do. I was lucky enough to be chosen. I'm really excited to be able to kind of share what I've been doing for the last 4 years. Good design should feel discovered and not made. It has a feeling of it's always been there, that the designer sort of just uncovered something, unearthed something that was always there to begin with and should have always been there, and it sort of seems to fit in its environment and its function. And I think that it's a feeling, an overall feeling of appropriateness and subtlety that happens. But most of all, I think it's just simplicity. Simple and direct, I think, usually makes the best design.
I'm Vaishali Patel, and I design rugs. I'm inspired by my nostalgia. As I was born in India, I subconsciously have a lot of personal memories and experiences that inspires me, and specifically it inspires me things like a stepwell architecture. A lot of my inspirations come from my cultural background. It means a lot to me to be in Brooklyn Designs because ever since I first time attended, I dreamt of being part of it because back then I used to experiment with the rug design and I thought it would be great to bring my products here. So it means a lot to me to be in Brooklyn Designs.
I am Matthew Mullen and I design custom furniture. My inspirations for the work I do come from all sorts of places. I do a lot of running and physical activities, so I'm outdoors a lot, and I like to, stop and take a look at the Brooklyn Bridge. Very utilitarian things. I like my woodworking to be able to be used. I'm less of a, studio artist and more of a furniture maker for everyday life. I was really excited about the prospect of being able to show in Dumbo in front of all this media and all of New York. And so being a part of the Brooklyn Design Show as a small business owner and really just a startup company is a tremendous opportunity to meet other makers and just network, and so I'm really looking forward to that. What sets me apart as a designer is my focus on being able to use and interact with my pieces. They are built structurally sound so that they can be used and hopefully passed on from generation to generation, while also having a good sense of design so that they can withstand the changes and trends throughout time and just to whatever the client requests. Good design for me is about incorporating design elements that someone sees this piece from afar and asks themselves, what is that? That looks pretty interesting. And when you get a person to engage in that question with themselves and they walk up to the piece and start to investigate it, I think that's an indication of good design. They want to interact with it, they want to use it.
Brooklyn Designs is a 3-day trade show highlighting the best furnishing manufacturers here in Brooklyn. It is a juried design trade show. We receive hundreds of applications from companies all over the borough, and we put together a jury of very talented designers and editors. So when you are selected to be part of Brooklyn Designs, that's what makes it so special, is that you've been selected by the top editors in New York.
Brooklyn Designs is New York City's hottest design show. It's back in Dumbo. It is a place where new designers and designers that have been around a while really get to showcase what they're doing, what's interesting, what's cool, what's new, what's exciting to a very broad audience. So I think the greatest part of it is the economic engine that it creates for these designers. But for the people that come and visit it, it's a great weekend in Brooklyn. We'll have a whole bunch of activities. Dumbo will be alive, St. Anne's will be alive, and there'll be a chance for really New Yorkers to see what's happening in Brooklyn in terms of the design world.
The best design furnishings are coming out of Brooklyn.